Hello there, welcome. It is almost time for the full moon. So we're going to talk full moon a little bit today. We've got the full moon meditation and activation loaded and ready to go. And I'm going to put that link down below for you. So, are you already feeling the full moon energies? Do you know if you're feeling the full moon energies or the new moon when we get them? So the moon energies, as you might have heard me say a few different times, we can be really in the fullness or the throes of that energy 3 days before, 3 days after. And depending on how much you're in relationship with the cycles, you might feel it a little bit sooner. You might feel it a little bit longer. You might feel it at other points, depending on your communion with those energies. So I woke up yesterday, which usually happens primarily with full moons. I've started to, track and put together with my cortisol levels just sort of high. And that will happen for me with the full moon. You can start to know if you're being affected by the moon cycles and by the phases, also by, do you feel more activated at night? Do you feel like you can't sleep as well? Do you feel more restless? Do you feel more tired? All of those things begin to let us know that we are being impacted by the moon. Do we feel more emotional? Do we feel more reactive, maybe? Do we feel more peaceful? All of these things are expressions of this relational intimacy. Now, we can be in this impact without being in relationship, but when we actually come into relationship with any of these planets, we learn more. We learn more about ourselves, and we learn more about ourselves in connection with all of life. So at the beginning of this meditation and activation, that I try to send out a couple days early so that you have them to work with. You work with the light language, you work with the meditation, and it starts to get your system more in sync and in coherence with the shifts that are occurring. And I talked a little bit about how right now, and I'm just going to repeat some of it. Right now, we've gone through the first part of 2025, wherever that has gone to. It's gone by really fast, and it feels like I don't even have a recollection or memory of most of it, which is more normal for where we're at in our consciousness and how we're operating with the present moment, more and more now. Lest I digress, let's come back. So we had a lot of planets that were retrograde for months and months on end, last part of last year and this first part of this year. So if you remember, and if you felt, it felt draggy, it felt heavy, it felt stuck. It's like, oh my gosh, like, why am I still in this? Why can't I move forward? Why can't I activate or actualize anything? Why do I feel depressed? All of this was happening because when planets go retrograde, whatever it is that they carry, whatever the signature and the archetypes and the qualities and the teachings that they carry, they're taking us back, right? There's this backward pull, and they're taking us back over deeper parts of ourselves to be looking at, to be aware of, to be learning about, to be learning from. And now everything is going direct. So, except for, I think it's Pluto, if I remember that correctly. Most of you know I'm not an astrologer, but I do pay attention to to what I'm gleaning from what's happening in the celestial realm. So today we are coming into the first day of Jupiter in Cancer for a year. And we are still in the lessons that we were learning in December when we were in Capricorn. We are now sort of at this juncture where we can start really grokking what did we take from that Capricorn energy and from that archetype, which is all about material planes, systems, it's pragmatic, it's practical. And now we're moving into the emotional realm of Cancer. So we're going to be in this Cancer energy for the next year in Jupiter, which means Jupiter amplifies everything. Pluto is very similar to this, but Jupiter, it wants this forward motion. It wants love. It wants, momentum. And Cancer is really that maternal energy. Cancer brings about a little bit more, sometimes closed offness, protection, because Cancer really wants to feel safe. It wants to be grounded and rooted in its physical home, the place where it lives. I'm a Cancer. As well as in its body temple space. And Cancers will sort of protect themselves because there's this soft underbelly of Cancers where they don't let everybody into their inner home, right? Into their inner sanctuary. But when you do get in there, you're in. And the maternal instinct, the nurturance, the nourishment, all of that becomes readily available. But this is the energy that we're in, right? We're in self-love, self-nourishment, self-care, and how does that then feed out into sharing those energies with others because we filled our own cup first. Jupiter wants to amplify and expand this. So the expansion that we're going in general right now with Jupiter, period, and everything in its forward motion, it's a game changer. And what I talked about in the beginning of the meditation video is that we want to remember that everything is connected. Full moon, new moon, solstices, equinoxes, any of the celestial events, those and others, other portals that open, they aren't isolated and unto themselves. There is a continuation process where all of them are influencing the next level, phase, stage of movement and momentum. So we are always in a continuation of where we've been in connection to the procession of the planets, the stars, right, and the moon cycles. And we're always cycling because this is what and how organic life on this planet and in our galaxy, I think we could say, operates, right? It's all about these cycles that move us, that move through us, right? Day and night. The elemental exchanges and transitions with the seasons, the ways in which the stars and the planets move across the sky, the way that the sun changes for summer solstice, winter solstice. We are being impacted and influenced all the time, and this is growing, right? I'm going to do a class for summer solstice, and I'm going to post something about that as well, and it will probably be, obviously not this week, but next week, middle of the week, and so it will be either done live or pre-recorded, but there will be a replay, and that will go up also on my Patreon page. So check that out as well. So we have the opportunity with this Cancer. We're in the Cancer month, right? Cancer is now in June through the first part of July. But the moon in and of itself is in Sagittarius. So Cancer is water, Sagittarius is fire. And we've got this inner soothing of the full moon with the Cancer, and then we have the energies also during this full moon of Sagittarius, which is fire, which is all about new. Right? Starting new things, going new places, adventuring. It's very outward. It's very social. And so in this meditation, what we're doing is we're working with the dynamic tension between the two of these, and how we experience this in an embodied way through the body temple. So if you haven't done any of these meditations, they're beautiful, and I don't always know what's coming through, and the way that the energetics play out with the light language bring about really beautiful, loving shifts. So some of what came through this time was really connecting to the body as a temple, and connecting to the energetics of our feminine and masculine, and really spending time with the Cancer and the Sagittarian energies, holding their frequencies and what they're guiding and teaching us in a way that we can get this embodied experience. And then it's also, I wrote a couple notes because I don't always remember either, is that we really worked with that the downloading of the divine energies from divine source, from the Holy Mother and Holy Father God, right? That polarity which all of creation exists within, and because of that polarity. So really working with those energetics as well, and getting a deeper connection to our own soul presencing. So as we're moving forward to the rest of this year, things are only going to speed up. And the recommendation is, if you don't know how to do your deeper grounding and getting all of you in your body, getting your soul presencing in your body and knowing what that feels like. What is your soul presence versus your personality, right? What is your true essence? And how do you access that? And how do we learn to maintain and sustain that, living from the inside out, rather than letting the outside dictate and pull us out? and really just take from us, so that we don't have the soul power to anchor in and to expand from within in deeper and more profound ways that enliven and continue to awaken us. So I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to just invite you over to either the Patreon, which is still in its very new stages, so I'm still working out some of the fine-tuning. But you can also go to the link below, which is my blog on my website, and there are links, PayPal or Cash App, that you can order this light language meditation for the full moon, and I will send it out then, mostly by this evening. If you order it today, give me a little bit of time, but know that that you will get it. Send your email, if I don't know you already, in the notes with your payment, and I would love to share with you. And I'll be sharing again more about what is going to be up and coming on Patreon, but also we will be doing some of it here on YouTube. Got a whole list of what's going to be rolling out. You know, a lot of times people think that when we hit the new year, right, that's when we start everything. When we're in natural time, natural rhythm, springtime is when we plant the seeds, and summer is when it really comes into its flourishing, right? When everything starts actualizing. And then in the fall is when we start really seeing the rewards and the bounty of that. And then in the winter, things that are no longer resonant get to fall away, right? We do this all the time. We're constantly dying and rebirthing. This is what the moons do with us and for us. But at the end of the year, when we hit winter, that's the time for the deeper dying of everything that has been, everything that is ready to just turn into compost, so that we can be renewed, rejuvenated through the winter, plant the seeds in the spring, and begin to birth again in the summer. So we live in cycles, rhythms, phases, and stages, and the more intimately we get connected with this, the more ease and grace we have in all of our life. And we're going to go into more of that on Patreon as well. All right. Hope to be able to share this full moon with you, and I will talk to you soon. Many blessings.